Until you can keep to that promise you're giving to your clients, your audience, or whoever, your followers, then you can say, okay, yeah, this is my reputation, this is what I'm known for, and this is me moving forward.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to African Brand Academy Podcast, your top number one African podcast on brand development and digital transformation, giving you insight and effective strategies to grow, scale, and promote your brand. Here are your hosts, Sharon Alfred and Ejiro Akbobome.
Hello, guys. Good day, and welcome to another episode from the African Brand Academy podcast. I hope you guys are having a good time. I hope you guys are staying safe and everything. So today I'll be in the studio with Ejiro, and we'll be talking about the difference in brand and a business. I know these episodes are kind of like introductory. I want to set you in the base of where you understand where we're coming from and where we'll be going to in the future. So we need to just get you good with the basics. And I know we've been off for a while. That was because we had some issues with recording for some reason. So we're back on track and we are ready to go. Promise that we try our possible best to make sure this doesn't happen in the coming future. So sit tight. I'll be playing a game with Ejiro at the ending to test if he's really conversant with his brands and if I can call him a certified brand developer. With that being said though, just tune in, sit tight, and let's have a good time. We'll also be talking a bit on what a business is, what a brand is, the line to be drawn, the difference between them, and how you can move from a business to a brand, or how you can transition from a business to a brand, steps to take. I had a good time. I hope you do also. So let's get right into it. The last episode we were talking about, we explained what a brand was now and what a brand is not. We are saying that a brand is not a business or a product or a person, exactly. So, in your own sense, to start with, first of all, what do you feel a business is?
In my perception of what a business is,
Yeah.
business is basically buying and selling. Why I actually said business is just basically buying and selling is because irrespective of the industry you find yourself, you're either rendering a service or giving a product in exchange for money or something of equivalent value. So you're actually either selling a service for money or selling a product for money. So it's just buying and selling. And anybody can do that.
Anybody can have a business now. Like everybody
Exactly.
actually having a business now. A side business, as they call it, a side hustle.
Anything you want to call it, but basically everybody's actually into some form of business or the other.
Okay, so that's like what we are saying in essence is like business is basically what you sell or offer.
It's better said if it's an activity that is aimed at generating revenue.
Okay, that can work.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So then we have explained business. What's your perception of brand?
Okay, for me, a brand is a person. Yeah, a brand is a person. It's not an activity.
Okay. Am I okay if I say an Indomie is a person? Because Indomie is a brand.
Yeah, you can say Indomie is a person. Why actually, in my own perception, why I use the word person when I'm talking about things like this is because as human, naturally, we have the probability of growing, learning, unlearning, relearning, making changes and all of those stuff. Now, the same attributes are what a brand basically takes. Now, when you go into the market initially as a brand, you start off, you're working, you're doing so many things, and then you begin to study changes. So, well, okay, let's assume a child is growing up and then the child begins to experience puberty. That's a change period. Certain things begins to come into play. The same thing in business. If you're running in terms as a brand, if you're working as a brand and you get to a particular point where you observe the market change, probably change in taste, change in location, change in the economic system, financial policies, and all of those things. Another aspect of that particular organization comes up. Now, what makes a brand survive is its ability for adaptation to those changes as it comes. Okay. Now, a business may not have the tenacity to go through those changes. So it changes from that business to another business. That's where you begin to hear situations whereby this person folded up and started another thing. This particular person was selling clothes. Now the person is selling shoes. It's not supposed to be so. So a brand is a person. That's the ability to adapt to changes and grow.
Okay, so that's a very nice one. But that is like one philosophy or one perception. But if you look at it, whether it's product brand, individual brand, or business brand, organization brand, whatever it may be, I just feel that a brand is your reputation, right? It's your reputation. The whole design and everything, the logo and everything is built on that reputation. So Indomie has a particular reputation, it holds standstill. Coca-Cola has the same reputation, like almost the same taste for like 100 years or so. So Dangote has his own reputation. All these brands have their own reputation. The minute you lose that reputation, the minute you lose your brand. because like even if
Yeah,
it's individual brand, when you're downloading a Simi song or a particular song, for instance, almost know what you're expecting. If you're
yeah,
buying a
definitely,
new iPhone, you know what you're expecting. So it's a reputation exactly. That's why
yeah,
these companies spend millions to hold on to that reputation to make sure that it doesn't flop.
precisely.
Yeah.
From your own perspective now of saying it's a reputation, it's very true. And I think I like where you're coming from because you're coming from a micro perspective of it. Now that I said it's a person.
Mm-hmm.
Naturally, as human beings, we all have our individual reputation, something that keeps us unique. And each
Yeah.
person's reputation is guided by
Mm.
its own personal values, which is
Yes.
collected based on its social or environmental factors. I don't know if you understand. Now,
Mm.
each person grew up in different locations, so the environmental factors have high probability of affecting that particular behavior. And in the same
Yeah.
way, if you take it into the brand now, the brand as a person also have those kind of environmental and social factors that actually influence its behavior or its being, which gives it a
Mm.
particular kind of reputation, just as you've said. So it's
Yes.
very much in point.
Yes, that's true. Since you're seeing it as a person, like the personality builds on your reputation, basically. I can describe you. And okay, even if I see Indomie as a brand, I can still describe it. So yes, it has
Exactly.
all the micro elements to that personality, that persona, because like the identity itself, you understand? There's a way you can identify these brands and
Yes.
it's
Yes.
still it still coordinates and stuff like that. So like I was trying
Exactly.
to give some examples. Like I'm saying that okay, for instance, Lego. Lego, remember those games we used to play when we were small now that we put they're trying to build and manufacture things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
I
it is
do.
like Lego built its reputation on childhood imagination and creativity. So as much as you
Okay.
can be creative, as much as you can imagine, just the blocks are there, build it to your imagination. Do you get my point?
That's it. That's it.
Coca-Cola built its own reputation on moments of happiness. Do you
Yeah.
get my point?
Happiness in a
So,
bottle.
like, last episode, I was saying that I don't believe that your brand is your promise because some people don't keep to their promise. So, when you keep
Exactly.
to your
Very
promise,
true.
that's your reputation. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, until you can keep to that promise you're giving to your clients, your audience, or whoever, your followers, then you can say, okay, yeah, this is my reputation. This is what I'm known for. And this is me moving forward. So that would be like the best way to explain the business and the brand aspect.
I just want to quickly chip this in. If for any reason you're going into a particular kind of commerce, I don't want to
Okay.
call it a business or a brand, a particular kind of commerce where you're either selling or buying or offering a service or whatsoever, I think
Okay.
you should actually propose to build a brand out of the business. Yeah,
Yes.
build a brand out of the business because if you don't look forward to building a brand out of the business, you won't be living a futuristic kind of ideal for that particular commerce you're
Yeah.
into. Yeah,
Yes.
and my perception most times is, what's the point of starting an organization when you already know the organization is going to fold up in the next 6 years? So
Mm-hmm.
who's going to pay for all the time spent, the
Damage and
resources,
everything.
financial? I know it's waste of time. So why not just think of making it something that's going to be a legacy? And when you're not there, it's still running.
Mm-hmm.
That's my disposition. So if you're going to have to start anything, start it to the mindset of for better, for worse, the death to us part.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So there's one thing I want to chip in when you were talking. I just remembered, but we're not going to elaborate on it now. We are going to do
Okay.
it maybe in a very, very different episode, which is, right now, you will agree with me. We are still trying to beg businesses and brands to go online and to go digital and have a name for themselves. But that means they're
Yeah.
not even ready for voice.
I won't blame
Well,
them
it's
because
funny now. We are still in text and we are begging them, please, go on Google, let you make sure you're found on Google. If someone search for this around my area, let me be found. When people normalize voice search, if someone can't know your name, like, okay, please call so company or call my bike repair shop or my mechanic man or call this or call that. If your name can't come up, like, okay, Alexa, order me 3 cartons of Indomie. It's very easy, but do you know what I'm saying?
uh-huh.
Alexa, call
Yeah.
the closest cement shop or the closest this. If you are still begging for text, you're not even ready for voice. And that's one thing I'm very afraid for Nigerians.
Africa basically, the what's it called now, the colonial era actually
Mm-hmm.
puts a kind of damage on their mindset. Now let me just say, yeah, I'm an African. A damage on our mindset, yeah, such
Okay.
that it has made them act like a push and start. If they're not given a lead, they don't actually take the initiative. Now,
Yes, yes.
during this COVID period,
Mm-hmm.
Zoom application has always been. But during COVID, Zoom application becomes so relevant that over half of Africans, especially Nigerians, Nigerians opted for that application than they've ever done all their life. Not like they've never known about it. Now, the question I came up with was, why is it that it's now when you find an emergency, you're trying to prepare? And that's what one thing that makes a brand different from a business. The brand prepares for the future. The
Yes.
business is pay as you go.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just crazy how people do that. I don't know how they do it, but it's actually crazy how they do that, because in my own disposition, if you're actually gonna say you're looking for a futuristic kind of business, you have to be ready from now to put everything you need to put in place in order to achieve that. And that starts with digital transformation, because the world has gone digital, like it or not. It's never going to go back.
Yes.
It's not going back. So we really have to opt for that as Africans. It's actually going to go a long way and actually improve the perception the Western world have over African businesses.
Okay, so that's a good one. So now, for
Yeah.
people who are running a business, or for someone who has a product, and for someone who
Okay.
is like an individual that wants to make himself a brand, and we defined what the business was, we defined what a brand is. So now, how do you advise for someone to move from a business to a brand? What is the steps that need to be taken? Just briefly.
Okay, this is a very dicey question. Okay, talking about steps to take in terms of moving from being a business to a brand, it starts with understanding your core values, your purpose, your vision, your mission, your objectives as an individual. There's something I often say sometimes when I'm invited to speak in some places. I always tell them something. I said, before your organization started, you existed. You were in existence before the organization. So what I often say is this: your organization is an extension of you as an individual.
Okay.
Now, before you started, you had a passion, you saw something wrong, and you just wanted to make impact, you just wanted to meet a need. Yeah. Now, in the bid of meeting that need, for you to sit down and say, okay, what if this happens? What if that happens? I look at it in this perception. Let's assume I am a dad, I am a father, and I have a child, and the child is growing up. And then I begin to tell myself questions like, what if my child gets to tertiary institution? What would he likely want to study? Let's assume I want him to be a tech kind of person. It's not in my place to tell him you have to study computer science. It's only in my place to make the environment computer science equipped for it to affect his psychology to choose it. Yes, that's how it works.
So you're among those group of parents that do that thing.
Yeah, so that's how it works. So the same way when it comes to the business aspect, when you're moving from your business to your brand, you've already seen the need in the market and you're trying to meet that particular need. So what you do is for you to create the environment to keep meeting that need. Now, the minute you've set your mind that you want to create an environment to keep meeting that need, that's where brand development comes in. Because if you have to keep meeting that need, then you have to keep receiving demand, and you have to keep giving supplies.
And you have to build the trust so that people can always come to you when they need that. Okay. So what you're saying is that what I'm getting in my ear, I don't know if other persons are getting it, is that for me to move my business from a normal business, right, or my product to be a normal product to become a brand, I have to build authority. Is that what you're saying? I have to build authority in that industry.
Precisely. Take over every single space you can. And you cannot take over every single space by just being a business. You have to be a brand, create perception, push your values out, push your mission out, push your objectives out. This is beyond advertising. I don't see advertising as my thing. I take marketing more than advertising. We're not talking about marketing and advertising today. But basically, if you have to become a brand, you have to invest in marketing, not advertising. Advertising is just going to give you a one-time customer and it's closed. You've closed your deal. But marketing leaves a print on the mind of whosoever has seen it.
Sorry, let me stop you a bit. For someone who doesn't understand when you're just talking about this advertising and marketing, I know you're not talking about it today, but let me just put this in, or let me say it. If you agree with me, you agree with me. If not, you correct me. So marketing is like me building relationship with my prospects and my present customers, right? And not just as if I'm selling to them, but trying to make them a community. I don't know if you know what I'm saying.
Marketing does not sell.
Yeah, it doesn't sell. Definitely, we've established that point that marketing is not selling. So marketing is about what? Because me, I just said marketing is about building relationships now. So what's your own what's your perception?
Marketing is, you're right, it's building relationships, yes. And it's also the ability for you to make your customers your mobile market. Because this is how I perceive. I was walking through the streets some time ago and I came across several billboards. And all you see on the billboard is just a bottle of drink.
Yes, or
There's
just
no
the logo.
Exactly. There's no price. They're not telling you buy. They're not telling you sell.
Mm-mm.
All they are just trying to do is keeping their product or their personality always before you at all times, like the word of God. It should
Yeah.
be written upon your heart. That's
Wow.
the idea. So that by the day you are thinking of having such a need met, you know just who to call.
Okay. Yes. 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 When it's time for decision making, you know what
Yeah,
to
you know
get.
exactly because you've been able to be the authority in every space. And
Yes.
that's why
Yes.
if you watch Coca-Cola will go to a very local marketplace and take up all the shops and begin to give them shop identities and
Yes.
custom
Mm-hmm.
branding. You just see someone, you say, Mama Jumbo, Coca-Cola, Papa Jumbo,
Coca Cola.
Coca-Cola, this one,
Even the
that,
restaurant have
Coca-Cola.
Coca
So
Cola.
I begin to, exactly. So you begin to think if it's a Coca-Cola branch,
Yes. Yes.
but it's not. They're just keeping the product always before you.
Um,
Yeah. So if you have to shift from a business to a brand, you have to start investing in marketing
mm-hmm.
to create your presence in every single space as much as you can.
That's great.
It's going to help you generate ideal
Mm-hmm.
customers, not just any customer.
Okay.
It's going to be the ideal customer. In a very short time, you start receiving premium payments.
Yes, sir. Okay, that's a nice one. You're saying that brand is about adding that like human touch, a different personality and perception than your competitors and stuff like that. It's like, everybody has like their own personality. Your personality is different from my personality. So what you are saying now is that we should carry that
Yeah.
idea to branding. There are different brand archetypes. There's the what's it called, the hero, there's the innovator, there's like the servants and all those things. You understand? Saying
Yeah.
that each brand now has its own archetype. It's the same way as saying each brand is supposed to have their own
Yep.
personality. Are you the fun type of brand? Are you the serious one, the strict one, that kind of stuff? So going back to the fact that you said that a
Precisely.
brand is your personality, that's a good one. In summary of what we are trying to say, you're saying that business is what you do, and then brand is why you do it. Do you agree with that statement?
You can say business is what you do, any activity you do to generate money.
Okay.
Yeah. Then you can say brand is who you are.
As a person, Abby, or as a brand, or as a business.
Yeah, it's a person. The brand is who you are.
Okay. Cool.
Because ideally, it's who you are that actually gives you revenue, not
Mm.
actually what you do. Yeah, it's who you are that gives you revenue, not what you do. I walk into a shop to buy something.
Mm-hmm.
To a very large extent, over 60% of my hormones and emotions I use in buying something is going to be based on how I'm communicated with, not basically the name of the shop.
Okay.
That's why so many people would rather put a smiling receptionist than a frowning man
Yes.
because they understand where people come
Mm-hmm.
in. Yeah.
Okay, so I want us to play a
So
game.
the brand is the person.
I want us to play a game. A quick game. Are you down?
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to mention some brand promises.
Mm-hmm.
Some brand, let's say promises or slogan, what they promise, and you tell me the brand.
Wow. I feel like I'm going to fail. I feel like I'm going to fail a lot.
You're a brand developer. You can't let this flop.
And I know I'm going to fail a lot. Yeah, I know I will.
Oh,
But let's just play the game. Just a game.
okay, just a game. Okay. So the first one, just do it.
That's Nike.
Okay, cool. You're starting nice. Second one is going to be pretty simple. Also, open happiness.
Open
Mm-hmm.
happiness. Why do I feel like that's copyright?
Okay. The last one, think different.
Think different. Ah, that's Apple.
Okay, so you got the three of them. You're a certified brand developer. Okay, so you see how the whole thing is resonated in your mind, right? Promise and
Yeah.
everything is clear to you. You know what they are
Yeah.
up for.
And they're doing it.
Okay, I'm going to move to the second
They're
game
up
though.
for it. Okay. It's getting serious.
Okay, so since it's African Brand Academy, right? We'll deal with African brands. So any
Very
answer you're
good.
going to give now is going to be an African brand. I'll mention an industry, and you
Mm-hmm.
mention like two brands or so that in that industry that are dominating. Three brands. I don't say business.
Okay.
I don't say Mamaputo.
Okay. Let's try
Let's do
it.
this.
Let's try it.
Okay, telecommunication.
Telecommunication, we have Glow, Globalcom, then we have I think Etisalat.
It's a,
That's
how
not
many?
mobile.
What are the sims on your phone?
I don't know. I have virtually all the same cards.
Is there a reason I should suspect you?
No, you shouldn't suspect me. It's for easy communication.
All right. Okay.
Yes, easy communication.
So now this is another one, but this is going to be. It's not going to be a bit hard, but I mean, I'll say car manufacturing. You're only allowed to mention African brand.
There, I forget that thing. There's nothing there.
What about dear innocent? I mean, is it innocent? I mean, what's the name of that this thing? Sef? That one you could not get that
The
one.
truth is,
Say there's nothing there.
I would have even called it a brand,
Mm.
but its perception is never strong enough to be
You
called a
called a
brand in
brand.
this country.
That's bad. That was too bad for them. That's too bad.
I'm serious. I actually know the one you're talking about now. But if you're going to talk about that particular brand, before it comes to your mind at all, you have gone through Camry, you have gone through Toyota, gone through Honda, you've gone through Hyundai.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's too far. It's too
What
far.
about noodles?
Noodles, that's Indomie.
Cement.
So that's not good
Real
to our
estate.
king. Real estate, okay. There's a problem there. That one is the only thing I know is that we have agents. I know there are so many agents, but we don't know their names. We don't know what they represent. But there are so many agents in real estate, but we don't really know the name of what they represent.
I did not say real estate agent, or I say real estate company.
And we are saying the same. I know I can't really place my mind on one. Yeah, I can't place my mind on one because
Okay, no
I've
problem.
seen more agents than real estate companies.
All right. So chocolate.
Snickers.
All right. Oreo fans will kill you after now. Trust me. And Toblerone fans. Lately, I know if I say soft drink, I know the first thing that will come to your mind. Those people are gurus. So after everything has been done and said, the last thing I want to say is to be a brand is so your prospects, your audience shouldn't even
Exactly.
get to be confused about who you are or who you're trying to be. Some people don't want to
Yeah, just be different.
people want to be the other person. Like there's a supermarket brand I'm
Yeah.
working now. One of his top competitors will be Market Square, but definitely he's trying to do something opposite, different from Market Square. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Market Square, I think they only shop more, pay less. That's their like slogan or something like that. Some other supermarkets want you can see any product you're looking for.
Yeah, I get it.
The
Yeah.
idea is just for it to be different.
Being a brand is actually complementing, not competing. If you
Okay.
are going to go into being a brand, I think you should focus your mind on complementing the industry, not competing with what the industry already represents. Now, let's take an instance. We have Coca-Cola already in the drinks industry, soft drink industry. You coming into the soft drink industry, producing something new, let's say Biggie, for example, you should not be looking at trying to be like Coca-Cola, rather looking at how you can meet the need in your immediate environment with your drinks. I think that should be your goal, not trying to compete. Like, there's one statement I have to make, and that is there is always enough profit for everybody.
That was a nice one. Ejiro, thank you so much. It was another pleasure, and one more time. And tune in for the next episode tomorrow on the core components of a brand. We so love to have you. And subscribe, drop us a review, join our communities on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, our Facebook group and Telegram group exclusively for business owners, brands, personal brands, corporate brands, and the rest of them. So we'll be dropping inside tips, having discussions on certain things concerning building your brand and taking it to the next level. So for inquiries or to book a session with us, email us at africabrandacademy@gmail.com or send us a DM, send us a message. We'll be there for you. So thank you so much for tuning in today. I love you all. Take care.